Separating, please. Separate so we can be together. All together, separate. Okay.
There's 6. So
we will do.
So you can do 4 to the winning.
1 for this for the Jenga game.
I thought team 4, right? Or are you doing 1-1? I thought it was like a relay.
Come on in, everybody. Make sure we are coming all the way to the front, separating. Have a seat in between us. That would be awesome. Come on in. All the way in, all the way to the front. You know the deal. Deal. Yep. Come on in, everybody. Grab a seat. Make sure you're coming all the way to the front. Nobody in the back. Gentlemen in the back, I can see you're already in the wrong spot back there in the corner. Make sure you're moving forward. Make sure you're separated by at least a seat. Separated by at least a seat. Girls, I can see you're too close. You got to separate by a seat, please. Thank you. Come on in. That would be horrible. Have you seen Nate? Do you know how to set these up? The buzzers. Come on in, everybody. All the way to the front, separated by 1 seat between you. Come on in. Come on in. What's that? We're doing Jenga because we got to for the trivia and poker. So as soon as wait, stop, because he had them set. Let's wait for him because he had certain ones at work and some that he had checked ahead of time. So will you call him, ask him to come in real quick? Come on in, everybody. Make sure we're separating by at least a chair between you. Come all the way to the front. No one in the back. All the way to the front. Make sure you're coming in and grabbing a seat. We'll need stuff, so if you can stick around here, that would.
Just like,
Yeah, just or like right here in the front. Help us to mitigate. If not, like once the game starts, we're gonna do. Yeah. 1 space in between. 1 chair in between keeps us together. Just the normal. Are you not?
No, but I did see.
Yeah. Come on in, everybody, all the way to the front, please. Make sure we're separating by at least 1 chair between you and the person next to you. That would be fantastic. If your elbow touches the person next to you, you are too close. Scatter. All the way into the front, everybody. You know the drill. Separating by at least a chair in between. Yeah, so set them up along the thing here. Do we need a longer? Tell me what you think. If we need to get an extension cord, we'll grab one. Okay. Come on in, everybody, all the way to the front. Put your phones in your backpacks, please. Hey, Mark, do you have an extension cord? Okay, run back to him in the booth. In the booth, yeah. Mark, I'm sending someone back to you. All the way in, please. Put your cell phones away, separated by at least one chair between you and the personas next to you. Separating. All the way to the front. Happy Wednesday, people. Happy Wednesday. Come on in. Make sure you have at least a chair between you and the people next to you. Mr. Mendez, you guys gotta separate. Gotta separate. Seat between, seat between. That's not a rule. Thanks, man.
For the laptop?
No, it's for this game we're doing. We need to plug in these buzzers. Yeah, I already have my laptop plugged into that one up there. So, thanks, man. Right there? Yeah. All the way in, guys, make sure you're separating by at least a seat between you and the people next to you. All the way into the front, please. All the way to the front. Come on in. We got some territorial tribal fights going on here over the front row. No. Huh?
What do you want us to do for the Jenga game?
So the Jenga game, we just need to be around watching to help. Okay, get them all set up so we can just pull the tables together closer and set them up. No, we need 4, right?
On each side or just 4?
No, 4 total. All right, keep coming on in. Please grab your seat as quick as possible with a seat separating you. I know I keep saying the same thing over again, but I'm still having to tell people. All the way in, guys, make sure you're separated by at least a seat. We're trying not to be cozy. Hey, girls, you gotta separate. You gotta separate. Keeping a seat between us helps us to stay together, everybody, right? All right, looking good. Come grab a seat. A lot of seats up here. A lot of seats up here in the front. People who are just walking in. You're gonna wanna be up front today. Front row, Joe. Yeah, you're gonna have to. Wait. All right, come on in. Looking good, everybody. Let's move. Look around, everybody. Make sure that you are separated by at least one seat, and so is your neighbor. And if you see someone who is not separated by a seat, point at them and yell unclean as loud as you possibly can. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Right now. Right off the bat. Yeah. And after you've pointed at them and said unclean, then you ask them to move. You can just throw that on the floor. Lizard? A lizard? Oh my, is it alive? All right. Just if anybody is missing your chameleon / iguana, you can come and see these guys over here. We found him. I don't know if you've been missing him, but he seems a little tired, but he's okay. If you want to come and grab him. All right. Do me a favor, everybody. Give me your attention. We can all go ahead and we're going to go ahead and start. I know there is, thank you guys for coming. Thank you for getting here quickly. We have, we were planning on this week being the first week of our small groups. We've had some complications with getting that ready. So we're shooting now to start small groups next week. So what that means for us then this week is that we have to have 2 large group meetings with everybody here, and we only fit in the sanctuary. So that's why we're here today. So today is going to be a little bit different. Some of you have been here. If you've been here long enough, then you know we in the past have done connections, and so this will be a little bit like connections, but with a little bit of fun added to it as well. So we're going to start off today with a couple of games, and I've got some friends here who are going to help pick out. I need one more person who's sorry. Where's Sophia? Okay, so between these 4 people, they're going to be picking 4 people from each grade, okay? So you guys tell Sophia who she's grabbing. So 4 people from each grade. You want to participate? Let me say this. We do have gift cards, grill cards present here on our person to give out today. So there are winners today. And for the girl who won last time we did a game, I have your card too. I don't know where you are, but come see me. 4 people from each grade, but you got to really want it. You got to really want it. You got to be able to show that you really want it. Come on. This is not just a dud kind of a game. We need high energy, lots of fun. If you want it, you got to show it. We got to prove it here, right now. You got to want it. I got 2 up here. I got 1. Selection process is tough. 4 from each grade. 4 from each grade. You got to want it, though. They're coming around right now. How are we doing, everybody? I got 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. I need 2 more, guys. Let's go. What are we looking at here? Yeah, we should have some females. We got a strong representation here for the male population. We should definitely make sure that we have proper representation. How are we doing, guys? I didn't think this was going to be this hard. I'm not choosing. I don't know what they've chosen so far. How are we doing? You good? Okay. So are these freshmen here? Okay, now we got 5 over here. We got 5. We only need 4. So are you guys sophomores? Sophomores. Who's picking sophomores? I need 1 more sophomore here. I need a girl sophomore. Who's picking sophomores? I got 4 over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I got 5 here. Okay, where are you going? I think we already got them. All right, so we got 4 from each grade. I'm sorry. All right, here we go. So this is how this game is going to work. This game is called Building Babylon. No, Babel. Building Babel, not Babylon. Although there were some great buildings in Babylonia. We won't talk about that. So here's what I need you to do. I need for number 1, I need for you to break down this thing you just made here. Totally scattered. Make sure they're all on the table. you guys can't see from the audience, but each table has a full set of Jenga, and there is a box, there's a tape box on the table for the building platform that they are to use. Here's how the game is gonna work. In a minute, I'm gonna have you as a team go down the aisle. So the far team down here, you're gonna go straight down this aisle. You're all gonna go all the way to the back, to the end of the row, the end of the seats of this section here. And you guys are gonna go down, and you're gonna be in the middle row all the way down to the end. You guys will go down there as well. We'll have 2 groups in this section, and then you guys will go all the way down to there. This is going to be a Jenga relay. What's gonna happen is, when we say go, the first person is going to run down, and they are going to choose whether they are going to start building with one Jenga piece from their own, or are they gonna go and steal one from somebody else's? The object of this game is to build the highest tower. In order for you to be higher than somebody else, because they're equal, you're going to need to take pieces from somebody else's table. Here's the caveat. Once a piece is in the tape box, it is no longer able to be stolen off of the table. Is everyone clear? Do you guys hear me on that? So once it's in that tape square, it's no longer valid for you to take. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're all in a second gonna go and run down. You've got to decide your strategy. Are you gonna go and you're gonna focus on taking from other teams? Are you gonna start building your own? We'll put a timer up of 4 minutes, and we will see how this pans out. Go ahead and start heading down to your starting position. You choose the order that you're gonna be moving in. Go ahead and go. So you guys down here, you're going all the way down to the end, not to the back wall, but to that middle aisle section there. It's a relay. So you will run down, you'll put your piece in place, whether you've taken it from somebody else or from your own, and then you're gonna run back. When you run back, the next person, as soon as you get there, is gonna run back and start doing the same thing for the whole 4 minutes. Does that make sense?
Does the whole team have to run or no?
Yeah, everybody has to participate. You will all be back from back there, and I'll be coming up to the front. Okay? So, you guys are gonna need to go. So you guys are heading down this row right here. Because I said, hey, let's start getting into position. You guys can head down there as well. The whole team goes down. Sorry if that was not very clear. Let's empty out all the squares from their tape squares. Empty their squares so there's nothing in the square. All right. Is it all clear? I'm not sure why there's a hedgehog there. That's a good question. There seriously was an iguana on the ground here just a minute ago, though, I swear. Yeah. Okay. All right. Are you guys ready? Is everyone in the back, are you ready? Teams, are you ready? On your mark. Mark, can you do me a favor? Can you play some music while we do this here? On your mark, get set. I didn't say go. My goodness. Coach Wepner would be so disappointed right now. Goodness gracious. On your mark. Get set, go. Go, you gotta run back, they can't do anything. Gotta keep moving, gotta keep moving. One at a time, one at a time. You can only do one block at a time. One block at a time. One block at a time. We're building with one block at a time, people. One block. Xavier. Here we go. We got interesting strategies. We got some that have not built anything yet, and some that are already on it. No, 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 don't do that, don't do that. Come on, take that. You gotta help. One block at a time. Two and a half minutes so far to go. 2.5 minutes. You might want to start focusing on building. Okay, just tell him he can't play then. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right, keep moving, keep moving. We got Team Sophomore so far with the build. All right, keep moving, keep moving. Should we have buckets out in case someone has to vomit from the running? Oh, that one's done now, though. That's done now. All right, all right. What's our time looking like? 46 seconds. Oh, hey, we're in sync even. 42. Whoa, 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 whoa. Did it. And they're, gotcha. 3, 2, 1. All right, stop.
It's still the tallest.
All right. All the teams come on up here for the presentation. All right. So, I don't know how much you can see. We have the senior table over here. So, the junior table that distance-wise, height-wise is taller. However, we also have two teams that were knocking over each other's the entire time and not playing fair. So I think our judge's decision would be the sophomores today. I'm sorry, guys. Now, while juniors had a great strategy, we didn't say how to build it. We just said one piece at a time and had significant height. We had the team players that played fair that built that didn't knock each other over. So thank you guys for playing. Sorry about that. Great job, sophomores. Awesome. Freshmen, it was close. You guys did well as well. It was good. All right. So we just gave out 4 gift cards. We got 2 more to give out. Well, is the girl here who won 2 weeks ago when we did a game? I can't. Destiny, yeah, Destiny. Where are you at, Destiny? She's not here. Okay. All right. Guess we have free lunch today. All right, so we do have one more game though. So for this game, we're gonna need 4 people, 1 person from each grade. If you can, guys, if you can go grab somebody from your grade, that would be awesome. Yeah, we gotta pull the tables in. Just 1 person from each grade. Let's pull these tables in. What's that? And I need guys to help me with these tables. We got to clear off the Jenga pieces and pull them in here. Yeah, Nate, I need your help. We got to set these things up, so there you go. All right. So as you can see from the screen today, the game we're playing next is called CCA Trivia. We've put together a group of trivia questions all about CCA with some CCA isms, if you will. Some just information that is privy to students. We got to clear all these off. Can we help me take these off and move them? They need to come this way? Your left or my left? Yeah. All right. So as they are getting it together, I will. Okay, not too far, because we have cord issues. That's why we're putting them. All right, that's good. Bring us in. All right. So we've got buzzers being set up here. Courtesy of Mrs. Burnett, thank you so much. And I guess we'll clear these off after. I guess we can, no, it's okay, we'll just leave them there. Just set it up, get the buzzards moving. So what's gonna happen here, guys, for the participants, if I can have your attention. Abby, you hearing me? So we're gonna put the question on the screen. When the question comes up on the screen, you will be able to hit your buzzer if you know the answer to answer the question. The buzzers will tell us who hit first, and then you will be given the opportunity to answer the question. If you answer the question correctly, then you receive a point. We should probably turn that so that the rest of the world is not seeing it. Does that make sense? Yeah, will you? So that, yeah, just right there. Okay. First you gotta take off the title graphic. Not yet, wait till we, yeah. All right. Is that clear? Everyone clear? Okay. And we have 2 judges here. They're going to be sitting here watching them see which one buzzes first. Okay? You guys ready? You ready? You have a preference of the buzzer? That's the yellow one. Yeah, not the big one. There you go. Okay. So Nate, are we ready to go? All right. So here we go with the first question on the screen. Eyes on the screen. Oh, you got instructions on still too. Take that off. There you go. What year did CCA start? Oh. But didn't it say? Oh, so you undid it. Okay. All right. So what's the year?
2000.
In the year 2000. That is correct. Well, so you're keeping track of scores, right? All right, so here we go. Next question. How many students are at CCA this year? Now I'm imagining you're gonna need to guess for this one. We got a buzzer?
1,059.2.
1,059 and 2. Go ahead, let's see if he's right. 2,685. Huh? All right. All right, so let's keep moving on. Ooh, what day are students allowed to wear short sleeve shirts?
Like, you're not talking about the uniform, right?
Fridays is correct. All right, so it's 1-1, right? Okay, here we go. What CCA teacher has a skull with students' hair on it?
Mr. Osden.
Mr. Osden. It's a little bit, Mr. Osden, I don't know where you are. That's a little, I don't know what to do with that question. I don't know what to do with that. All right, next question. Here we go. What is the verse for the year? John 3:16 is not right, yeah? No, we had an accidental buzz. Anyone else? No? All right, well, it was Matthew 7:24. Ready? Okay. What is Calvary currently building?
Like that thing, like near the field house.
A field house. That thing, the thing near the field. That's right. Absolutely. All right. So what's the score? What do you got? 2-2. Okay, 2-2. What's Mrs. Henry's favorite breakfast food?
Pancakes or waffles?
Oh, well, I think we have to, the answer is waffles. I know, but you started with pancakes. Well, okay, let's see this. Is Miss Henry in the room? Pancakes are not the same thing as waffles. Miss Henry's not in the room? All right. Sorry, we're not gonna count that one. All right, keep going. What teacher built the potato cannon by themselves? Cannon spelt wrong. No, it's not.
Mr. Cox.
Mr. Cox is correct. All right. What's that? Too late for that now. How many kids does Mr. Crank have?
7.
That is incorrect. I have 6. Thankfully, I only have 6. Okay. Yeah. All right, when are students allowed to wear headphones?
Only during class when you're watching the Ed puzzle.
Only in class when you're watching an Ed puzzle. That would count. The answer is never unless the teacher gives permission, which during an Ed puzzle, that would count. I'll give it to you. That works. What's our score? 3-3. And how many do we have more? Okay, we're good. As long as there's a couple more. All right. So next question, what grade has the most students?
Freshman.
Should we do that? Okay. Is that wrong, right? Okay, that's wrong. So we'll say the next, on your mark, on the next buzzer, we'll give this one again. We're redoing the question here to give you guys a chance. And it's now, you have a greater chance of being right. Yeah. What grade has the most students?
In high school?
Yeah.
Sophomores?
That's incorrect. Go ahead, put it up. We'll just go. The juniors have the biggest class as of right now. All right, next question. Which teacher uses the phrase, "You are on the precipice of adulthood"? You are on the wow.
Mr. Henry? Mr. Henry? Mr. Henry?
That is wrong. Anyone else want to take a guess? Okay. Huh? It is a science teacher. It's not Mr. Liga. Go ahead, Miss Burnett. All right. How many more do we got? Okay, this is the last question. It's tied up 3-3, right? So this is really this is the kicker right here. Somebody has to get this one right. What staff member has a tailgate party named after them? Whoa, shh.
Mr. Peters?
The answer is Mr. Peters. Yeah. All right. That's it. All right. Abby has won where's our last gift card? Great job, everybody. Everyone give him a hand. Great job. Help me, we got to clear this stuff down. Okay, yeah.
All right, guys. Two quick announcements, and then I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Alphanar. So, Ben, will you make yours really quick, and then Mr. Osden.
Morning. So, worship auditions are coming up. So, if you're a vocalist, bass player, keyboardist, drummer, electric guitar player, trumpet player, flute player, saxophone player, violin, or cello player, please sign up for the audition. We have it coming up on September 21st at 3:15 in the HSM room. You must sign up, but there's also the option of video auditions. So please email me at benb@calvaryftl.org and let me know if you're gonna do a live or video audition.
Awesome. Thank you, Ben. And guys, please do quiet down. Please do quiet down in this portion. Mr. Osden, go ahead.
Hi, I need everyone to listen to me, please. Thank you. You get a free homecoming t-shirt, but you must go sign up for it. You got a form emailed to you. There's also on my CCA under high school group, under groups, under high school community. You can find the link there. Please sign up. If you do not sign up, I'm going to order an extra large for you, and you will not complain about that because you did not sign up. So go in there, and there are no youth sizes. You're all in high school now. The end.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Osden. Yeah, if extra large is your size, you're in luck. All right, guys, and finally, for the next 10 minutes or so, 10, 15 minutes, we're going to turn it over to Mr. Alphanar just to follow up on some reminders and helpful CCA culture. Mr. Alphanar.
All right. Hey, guys. Thanks for just coming in here, having fun, participating. It was fun to see a lot of different people participating. Again, to have some of those class versus class activities is just kind of a fun thing to do in this time. And just a couple things with regard to that. There are definitely those times where we come in here, and a lot of times, especially as we went through last week, Battle Week, it was just a lot of opportunity to grow spiritually, whether here or in breakout sessions. And that's definitely a part of what Wednesdays and Fridays can be, not just now, but moving forward. Then there are other times where we come and it's just like, hey, let's play some games, let's have fun together. But hopefully you can catch a little bit of a theme even behind some of the games that were being played this morning. So building with Jenga, continuing that build theme. And then trivia questions, just some things about the school and things about, the culture, people that we know and love, obviously, but even some funny things like rules sprinkled into that. So sometimes when we come in here, there's definitely that mindset that's very clearly, hey, we're here to worship, we're here to open God's word, we're here to learn and grow in our faith. And then there's other times where at least part of it is just kind of a fun atmosphere, getting to know each other a little bit better, getting to interact with one another. For the last 10 minutes or so, I'm gonna take some time and even kind of blend some of those things as well. Some of you that have been here for a number of years, if we go back in our minds a few years, we had some times where we would set aside and call it a connections time. And sometimes it was, the last few years that we did, it was just by grade level. And so we would gather the seniors before they would go to small groups and spend some time talking to them about some different X's and O's, things that were going on in the life of the school. And then maybe the next week we'd gather with the juniors or the sophomores or the freshmen. We'd have a point in time where we could just connect. And school counselors could talk about things, or administration could talk about things, and that was just a great opportunity to again go through some of the X's and O's. So this is a little bit of a quote unquote connections feel, a blast from the past for those that have been here for a few years. But I definitely want to take some time to weave into some of the things that I wanted to talk about in a way that even connects just spiritually with what we would do in a chapel sort of setting. okay? So let me pray real quick a minute, and then I'm gonna share a few things with you. I'm gonna ask some questions, maybe have a little bit of participation as well. So hang with me here for the next 10 minutes or so, but let's pray first. So if you could join me just a minute and doing that, please. God, thank you for this time. And as we open your word, Lord, as we talk about some things that are near and dear to my heart, but also that are just special as far as who we are as a part of this community here at CCA. I pray that you would open all of our hearts and our minds to hear and receive from you anything and everything, Lord, you have to say to us in this time. I pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, with just a show of hands a minute. Okay, it doesn't need to be a lot of talking or anything like that, but just a show of hands. How many people in this room would say, I'm a leader? I'm a leader. Put your hand up if you say, I'm a leader. I'm a leader. Show of hands. Okay, taking a minute, but shh. Now, again, I said without a lot of talking, you just raise your hands. Thank you, you can put them down. I'd say about half of the room almost raise their hands. I'm a leader. And I hope that would be true of all of you in some way, shape, or form, that you are a leader. So I want you to think about what that means to be a leader. And I'd love to go around and ask all of you that raised your hands, or even some of you, what does that mean to be a leader? What makes you a leader? And part of the reason I ask that question is, I get reminded of myself of that often. That was our word for last year, right? For discipleship, to lead. And we got these wristbands, and I usually keep this one right by my desk. Can't really see it the way I'm holding it there, but I keep this one by my desk, and I could see it. It reminds me to lead. I just slipped it on this morning as I came in here because, again, it goes very much in line with what I'm wanting to talk about this morning in the 10 minutes or so that we have. But with that in mind, again, as we went through a whole year last year with that word lead being our word for the year, like build is this year. Hopefully, if you think back to that, you're reminded of things that you were challenged and taught about what it means to be a leader, and especially in this environment, what it means to be a leader. Now, I'm guessing many of you raised your hands for different reasons, and again, you would say, hey, I'm a leader in this place or this space. I'm a leader in the classroom. I'm a leader in the classroom because I do my work. I work really hard. I get good grades. I help other people, with things in the classroom. That's how I'm a leader, Mr. Alphanar. Others might have raised their hands because you're like, hey, I'm a leader in my friend group. Like when it comes to getting together and to doing something socially, I'm kind of that ringleader that gets people together. And hey, we go out and we have a good time together, and I'm kind of the glue that holds us together. I lead in that way. Others might say, I'm a leader on an athletic field or some space like that. I'm a leader in that way, in that I show others, how to play, or maybe I have a position on the team that's one that just naturally causes everyone else to rely on me or follow me or whatever the case might be there. But a lot of different ways that we can be leaders. But one way that I want to talk about being a leader this morning comes from the book of 1 Thessalonians. I'm going to read a verse from 1 Thessalonians and then talk about how this, again, ties into the whole of what I wanted to talk about today. But 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 11, one quick and simple verse that says, therefore, encourage one another and build one another up, just as in fact you are doing. The context of this verse, therefore encourage one another and build each other up, comes from the Apostle Paul as he spends this time writing this letter to the church and the people in the city of Thessalonica. And he's challenging them in the verses preceding this verse to be active and be alert and be purposeful in their spiritual lives. So a few questions for you to think about. How are you how are you living an active spiritual life? How are you living an alert spiritual life? How are you walking out a purposeful spiritual life? There's something clearly about leadership in this place at CCA that needs to be about not just in the classroom, which is important, don't get me wrong. Okay, not just in social settings, but also as it might extend to a field of play or some other activity that you're involved in, but spiritually. Clearly, how are you spiritually leading your peers? And there are so many different ways that you can do that as well. And I'm guessing some of you, many of you might have raised your hand saying, hey, I'm leading spiritually in this way or another. A couple more questions. Who are you encouraging? Who is encouraging you? And on top of that, very similar to that, who are you holding accountable? And who's holding you accountable? I want to hang there for a minute in that word accountability and tell a little bit of a story, okay? So listen, please. Again, I'm seeing a lot of eyes. That's great. If you're not looking, hey, please look and listen. And to tell you a little story, I'm taking a trip back in time to when I sat in your seat. It was middle of the road for me, high school, sophomore year. And I was in class kind of talking and joking around with James. And James and I were friends. We played basketball together. We got to know each other pretty well over the first couple of years of high school. James and I were kind of messing around in class, and we were talking, we were laughing, and something came up, and we made a comment, didn't think much of it, and that was the end of it. The end of class, Mr. Hoffman, one of my favorite high school teachers, taught me math for a number of years. He said, the bell rang and we're walking out and he said, hey, James, Brian, come here a minute, guys. Okay, didn't think much of it. And hey, what do you want, Mr. Hoffman? He said, that little interaction that you guys had in class, it seemed like just a little side comment. And it was, just you two talking over here for a minute. That could have been really hurtful. Do you realize what you said? We thought for a minute and we're like, no, not really. And then it kind of began to dawn on us. There was something even very small in what we said that definitely could have been, and maybe it was, I still don't know to this day, but could have been hurtful to a classmate that was sitting not very far away if he heard us. And Mr. Hoffman looked at us and he explained that to us. And he said, I know you probably didn't mean anything by it and maybe you didn't even think of it. But he said, and he asked this question, I'll never forget because it cut me to the core. He said, who is holding you accountable? And I'd never been challenged in that way before with that question. Who's holding you accountable? And again, I didn't have a great answer for that in the moment. And I said, God, my parents? Okay, he said, that's great, Brian, but no. Who's holding you accountable? James, you let Brian say that, or Brian, you let James say that, and that could have hurt somebody in this class, in this space. It's only sitting a few feet away from you. And from there on out, he kind of described a little bit more about that accountability and what that means. And that's, for me in my life at that moment, it was a recognition that I didn't have friends in my life that were holding me accountable to doing the right things. That he would say in that moment, Brian, you shouldn't say that. Like, shut your mouth, okay? Don't go there. Or do you realize what you just said? You might need to make it right with this person that's sitting 5 feet away from you. And that began a bit of a soul-searching journey for me, I guess you would say, of making decisions, real, legitimate decisions about who I was friends with, who I was associating with, and how they might hold me accountable. Going back to 1 Thessalonians, how they might encourage me and build me up so that I could encourage other people and build them up. So a quick challenge for you, and then I'm gonna move on from that, but a quick challenge for you to even be thinking about, and you might be, you don't need to do it right now, but you might be looking to the left and the right of you, and man, these are my friends, and these are the people that I do life with. And my question to you is, how are you holding each other accountable? Okay, and if you're not, have a serious conversation with each other about that. How am I holding my friends accountable to the things that I'm doing, that I'm saying, that I'm even thinking, that I'm watching, that I'm listening to, and the list goes on and on and on. Encourage one another in all the good and the right ways. In those ways that you're not doing very well in those areas, again, even encourage one another to maybe stop doing some of those things. If you don't know the answer to that question, who's holding you accountable? I will say there are a lot of people, and even plenty of people in this room that could hold you and do hold you accountable. It's teachers, it's administrators, but it could be anybody here. It's receptionists, it's the SROs, it's custodians. It's basically anybody that works and serves in any capacity here. And know that. Be respectful. Be responsive to people in those positions, even people in authority and processes in place. God put those people in positions. They do have your best interest in mind. And sometimes it doesn't feel like that, because it feels like in that moment, like it's about you, and they're coming at you, or they're asking you questions, or they're challenging you on something, when really it's a collective thing. It's a collective group and process that we would say, hey, we want to, even in a moment of just with you, hold you accountable for something, so that we can all be better as a body. Mother Teresa, I'm going to give a quote from Mother Teresa and then a verse on the back end of that that's very similar. Mother Teresa said, "Be faithful in small things, because it is in them, in the small things, that your strength lies." You want to be strong? Be faithful in the small things. That ties very closely with a verse in Luke 16, verse 10. Luke 16, verse 10, very simply says, "Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. Whoever is dishonest with very little will be also dishonest with much." So are you faithful in the small things? And I'm going to talk about some of those small things for just a minute. It was interesting in that trivia game, there were some of those small things that were even in there. So some of the small things that we need to be reminded of, things like earbuds. We've talked about this in this space before, but when can you, when can't you, when should you, when shouldn't you? And we've been reminding you of these things the last few weeks, but this has got to take hold. And if you're called out for something like that, know that that's an accountability measure. That's not something that somebody's coming at you, okay? But earbuds, not wearing them. Dress code things, okay? I could go through the whole dress code, and I'm not going to take the time to do that for the sake of time. I do want to get you guys out of here real quick, but simple things like, it was a question in the trivia, when can you wear a t-shirt? On Friday, okay? And I know, and even looking around the room this morning, there are Build t-shirts. And we haven't said this specifically with you, but I'm saying it right now, all right? Here we go, point in time, right now. The Build t-shirts are great examples of t-shirts that we gave you, that we love. Those are Friday shirts, okay? So if you're wearing one today, okay, this is it, last day, all right? But tomorrow, Thursday, don't come in the Build shirts. Those are Friday shirts. It's a t-shirt. Okay, athletic shirts, the athletic t-shirts that a lot of you are wearing. And again, you may not know this, so you're hearing it again right now. Athletic shirts that might say pride or tradition on them. And again, great stuff, but those are Friday shirts. Okay, Monday through Thursday, and also on Friday, obviously. For most of you, it's those collared shirts, whether long or short sleeve. That's what you should be wearing. They got to be navy, gold, white, gray. If you're coming in with a pink shirt and you're like, hey, it's got CCA on it, definitely not a Monday through Thursday, and maybe a Friday shirt, but again, be thinking and aware of that. Other things like your shorts, if you're wearing your athletic shorts, but they're my PE shorts, or these are my lacrosse shorts, or those aren't not shorts you should be wearing at all during the week. So attention to those small things. Pay attention to the small things, because if you can be trusted with the small things, you can be trusted with bigger and greater things. Okay, so pay attention to those small things, because we want the best for you. We want the best for our student body. A couple other small things. Being conscientious and courteous of one another. Okay, and I'll list a couple of things where we've seen, and just want to reiterate and remind, a space like this It's a beautiful space, a sanctuary, but we shouldn't be coming in here with drinks, okay? And some of you that came in with drinks this morning, I think I talked to 3 or 4, and, you know, just keep those things away or put them in the back. Don't bring them in here. We just don't want those coffee drinks or juice or whatever it is spilled in here for sure. If you have water, that's one thing. But food also. If you're eating chips in here or you're eating something, this is not the time and the place or the space to do that. And we walk through every time you guys leave and there's stuff left in here. And that's the problem, is that stuff gets left, so we cannot do that in here or in the classrooms as well. So food and drink, not in the sanctuary here, not in the theater, shouldn't be in the classroom as well. And then always remember, and I think many of you know this, and it's a biblical thing, but it's often quoted even outside of the Bible, is the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do to you, right? So if you're thinking about doing something, you're like, I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me. I wouldn't want to cut in line, or I wouldn't want somebody to cut in line in front of me. That's rude. Okay, well then don't do that to somebody else, okay? Always be thinking about things like that. Keep those things in the forefront of your mind. Faithful in the little things. Encourage one another to do and be faithful in the little things. And then again, something simple like the golden rule, do to others as you would have done to yourself. Okay? Now, that was maybe a weird way and kind of a quick way to go through some of those X's and O's like we would in a connections type setting in the past. And I thank you for listening. Be attentive to that. All righty? Now, as you guys go from here, in an orderly fashion, please be safe as you leave from here. Be conscientious, courteous of one another. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.